Hello, my name is Starlight. Welcome to my YouTube channel. And this video here is for all you men, all you guys out there that are either single or you might have a girlfriend or a wife. And what this video is to help you because I understand that not all of you men or guys have been brought up in the right way. To be a good example to your kids. So this is for men, whether you are single, because I do know a lot of men out there are single and they have children. This could even be for guys that don't have any kids that are thinking about having kids. And of course, men that are married, that do have kids, or maybe you're going to be having kids, like someday soon. So this is for really people that are going to be parents or that are parents. So I want to reach out to you before I get started and see how all of you are doing. I hope all of you are doing great. And I hope you're taking good care of yourself. So I really want to encourage you, all of you, to how to be a good father, whether you have a girl or a boy. To be a good example is a good way of being a good father. And that even goes for mothers, but I don't want to discuss mothers right now because this is a video for you men. And so you're probably wondering, what can I help you out with? Well, I'm a female. I know how I like getting treated as far as by the way a man treats me. So I have gone to church and learned a lot on how to raise up children. I did learn some negative things, but I learned a lot of positive things as well as how to bring up kids, how to be a good wife, and how to take care of a husband and treat a husband. So I have a lot of insight on these things, things that do work. And so anyway, as far as if you have little girls, like men, I do love you. And, you want to treat your girls like they are girls. There's the world, the way it's going, make sure you get some dresses for them, teach them to wear dresses. There's a lot of girls out in the world these days that look more like boys than female. And that's a huge problem in this world, the way things are going. There's girls liking girls and boys liking boys. And we really have to turn that around. Girls should be liking boys, and boys should be liking girls. That's the way God created everything, like to how women should be and how men should be. So, the way society is now, the way things are is it's the anything goes kind of thing, I have gone on a lot of sites out there, and I have learned a lot of things, what is out in the world. You might be wondering, what kind of things have I been watching? Well, guys, you've probably seen this yourself. I have gone, you might be shocked when I say this, but, not just guys do this, but women do too. I was actually doing, like everybody has a different reason why they go on these certain sites. Sometimes they're trying to educate themselves, or, like maybe they like seeing different things. And, like I'm going to come out and say it, but porn sites, yeah, I did say those four-letter words. And, yeah, so I actually kind of was doing like a research on porn a little bit. I went through something and I was trying to help somebody out. And so I didn't know anything really about porn. I really, when I started out younger, I might have been like about 21 my first time ever even watching porn or knowing anything about porn. So that was kind of old for these, for people to ever experience porn. So I was trying to educate myself because I did know somebody that was struggling with something, and so I wanted to learn um, about the good and the bad and the ugly about porn, and I was amazed. I was learning a lot of stuff, all kinds of stuff out there. There was all kinds of craziness out there, and like with you men, you probably have experienced what I'm talking about. There's guys with guys, girls with girls, all kinds of stuff. You do have I've seen a lot of you can't, you're going to see this on there. There's no way of getting around it, but like people with different skin color going with other race, like you've seen a lot of that out there. I'm surprised they probably do have it out there, like because these days it is like a lot of people are really corrupt. A lot of these things were happening in the Bible times where, where even people were having sex with animals, men and women, so what is this world coming to? So anyway, you do need to protect your girls and your boys, and make sure, they are who they are. A girl is a girl. She's meant to be around boys. So I do know there's a lot of men that sometimes what happens is that when they before they had a baby, maybe they didn't know they were going to have, that not it came out of them, but maybe they got a girl pregnant, and maybe you were hoping to have a boy. And maybe you were not quite happy because you found out you had a girl. And this happens with a lot of males where, they like doing a lot of guy things, of course, because you're a man. You might like going hunting a lot, and now you're like, you might like going fishing and different men's sports. And fishing is for men and women, and, hunting is for men and women. But sometimes what happens is that the men, the fathers, really, because they wanted a boy, they start having their daughters do a lot of boy stuff. And then, later on, they may never wore a dress. So you want to start your little girls off in the beginning, have them wear beautiful dresses when it's beautiful out and stuff. And I do know that I came from a really strict church where the girls, that's all they were allowed to wear was just dresses. So I believe that you ought to have balance, like, some religions out there, they do not want their women wearing pants at all. And I did that for 7 years. I was only allowed to wear dresses or long skirts. So, where slits were very, like slits was, the pastor did not even like a slit on a dress or a skirt, where, he wanted the girls to be the ladies to be very modest. So, you don't want to have, pants are nice, so when a girl goes jogging somewhere, it kind of is easier to do that kind of stuff. And so you do want your women, your girls, like to look like girls, even though you might have not had a boy like you were hoping to have, but hey, she's a female, treat her like one. And with boys, and, with girls, you gotta be gentle with them and help them out with their emotions, don't be rough with them. And, they are gonna have emotions that you're not quite used to, they're gonna cry, and boys, there's a lot of men out there that might have came from really strict families where they might have not have been allowed to cry. And if you have a son, there is a balance, with the females and the males, like let them cry a little bit, but, depend, you don't know what they're going through. What are they going through? Why are they crying? I know as a kid I was going through a lot of abuse. So yeah, I was being beaten a lot, and sexually played with. So I had a really good reason why I was crying a lot as a kid, So my family told me when I got older, even my mom, which was horrible, she's like, you cried a lot when you were a kid, and my dad used to tell me, you keep on crying, I'll give you something to cry about. But little did he know, a lot of stuff was going on behind the scenes, So you do have to know why your kids are crying, number one. Are they, being beaten, But you need to talk to your kids and find out, hey, why are you crying? Don't let them, cry for hours. You need to help them with their emotions, especially females. But with boys, a lot of boy fathers don't want to see their boys crying. They feel like that's a sissy kind of thing to do. But, you got to teach those boys to have balance, like to let them know that it is all right to cry and find out again, like why are they crying? What's making them upset? You need to find out and take the time. Don't be a jerk about it, because I know some of you weren't brought up right and don't know how to handle these things and don't know how to respond the right way. So you do have to be sensitive, and communication is so important to reaching out to them and finding out what's causing them to cry, because, sometimes kids go to school and they go through so much abuse and being harassed by other kids. Maybe they got beat up that day. Maybe they're having a hard time dealing with it. If you, as a dad, really don't know how to work with your child or children on these emotional levels, maybe you really, if you love your kids, and I believe you do, but not everybody really loves their kids to do this, is to maybe you need to find some professional help for them. And hopefully you're not the reason why they are crying. If you've beaten them, you know what? They are going to be crying. So I hope that you're not beating your kids, because even though it's 2023, a lot of kids are still being abused these days. So it doesn't surprise me, people out there are still beating their kids, because they have issues they need to work on. And if you are a parent that, is guilty or has been guilty or doesn't know how to control yourself around your kids when they disobey or whatever, maybe you, and I mean this in a loving, caring way, maybe you need therapy, or go to groups or something where you can get some help, and there's other ways that you can get help, like through meditation, like guided meditation will really help you out, because you shouldn't be beating your children. They are little and they need a lot of patience, and if you're a person that don't have the patience to raise up your kids, you might even want to think about having somebody else raise them. If you really don't want to go out and get professional help from somebody, because if you do get caught, you can get in jail, put in jail, like for a long time. And besides, if you're beating your kids, they could turn out with definitely mental illnesses, and they might want to kill themselves because of the abuse. That's what happened when I was a kid, is I was being abused so much as a kid. It's crazy, all the stuff that was going on with a lot of my family members, either neglect or sexual abuse or verbal abuse, or I was physically abused as a kid repeatedly growing up by all different family members, and they all didn't know each other were abusing me one way or another. So that's why I want to reach out to you, because I care a lot about you, and not only I care about you, but I care about your kids. You want to be a good parent, and to be a good parent, you have to be a great example. When I was brought up, my parents were not good examples, and that's why I want a YouTube channel. And so please give this video a thumbs up so I can, this video will get out where other families can get to see this video, because it is so important. If you do have kids, which you must have kids watching this video, or maybe thinking about having kids, So we really need to stop the way people are bringing up their kids in a bad way, an abusive way, and turn it around. So people are bringing our kids up in a healthy way. You need to talk to your kids and explain things. They're little. You can't expect them to know everything. And, I know I was brought up in a family like this where I was being called a retard, by my dad and my brothers and even at school. So shame on parents that are calling their kids stupid or what are you, a retard? That is really shame on you because if you're calling your kids stupid, are you educating them, so they aren't stupid? Or do you just like calling your kid's name to make yourself feel better? Because that does go on still these days where parents can be very abusive verbally. And like I said, physically or, even psychologically, like playing games with their minds and stuff. And, like being a good parent, you have to be honest with your kids. Again, with my family, there's a lot of lying going on and stealing, for adults, So I really came up from a family that was a horrible example as far as being a good parent. So I didn't go and repeat those things with my kids. I learned, okay, where other parents, they might gotten abused by their parents and then abuse their own kids. That happens a lot. I don't understand that because, if you didn't like what your parents did to you, why would you want to do that to your own kids? Because they could want to kill themselves. And so you got to protect your kids, like even with medications in the house or drugs, any kind of drugs, and hopefully you're not doing any drugs. Marijuana is probably the safest thing out there. It's not like gonna, that's not the kind of drug I'm talking about, but like crack or cocaine or heroin, hopefully you don't have that laying around somewhere in the house. In alcohol, you really got to protect your kids with alcohol in the house because, if you're not around watching them, they definitely could be tempted to try to drink some and without you knowing about it. So that does happen a lot with kids. And besides trying to help you to be a better father, other things is teach them to be a gentleman, There's not a lot of that out there in this world. And when I brought my son up, he was taught to open up a door for a lady, so he was being trained, and you got to train him. And besides training them, you got to be the example. Maybe you never did this before, but do you ever open up the door for your wife or your girlfriend? How about when you go out in public? I've gone out in public to go out to a store, and I've had some really rude men out there where, man, if they could get away with it, they would have slammed the door in my face. They were very rude, and I just couldn't believe how they treated me. They didn't know me. So when I go to a store, I'm really quick to open up the door because I've had men, and I don't care if you're married or not or got a girlfriend, there's nothing wrong with you opening up a door for a strange lady. I don't care what she looks like. She doesn't have to be pretty. An elderly lady, a lady in her 50s, 60s, or younger. Open up the door for the women when you go in the store and the men. We need people to be kind to each other. Some people, they might not like women at all. Like I said, I've gone out in public and I had where men were, they seen me coming to the door and, I thought they were going to be kind and open up the door, but man, they freaking, they saw me and they just ran out of there as quick as they could, and their attitude, their energy was really cold, and that is not a good thing, that kind of character, out in the world. We need to be kind to each other, no matter if you got a wife or not. Hopefully you're in a good relationship where you don't have a wife that's so jealous, but you shouldn't have your women control you. Anyway, like you can be kind. It's not like you're going to pick up a girl that you just met at the store, hopefully not, especially if you're married. I do know not all men are faithful, and the same goes with women. Not all women are faithful. So sometimes there are men that are married or have a girlfriend and they like flirting with girls out in public. And sometimes they might be really friendly with girls that are strangers. And, like we need to really be kind to each other. And I open doors up all the time. I'm very patient. There's times I'm helping elderly people, whether men or women. There's people that are in wheelchairs. Put yourself in their place. Really, how would you like it if you were crippled and you had to be in a wheelchair and you're going into a store? Anybody and everybody should help that person out, no matter what age. So you could teach your kids at a young age, start them off right in the beginning. If you haven't, you could still teach them now. It's never too late. Even the teenagers, teach them, hey, open the door up for that lady. Open the door up for that man. You shouldn't just open up the doors for only the women when you go to a grocery store or a store. Let them know that you are a man, and that you're not a jerk, because, I did have a old friend of mine that he was really cool. He actually was very outgoing out in public. I'm not around him anymore. But, I loved the way he was when he was out in public. He was really outgoing with the guys, mainly. He loved going out fishing, and he always called them, what is it? I'm trying to think what Bud. He always called him, hey, Bud. So, that was a good, friendly way. He liked fishing a lot, so he would always, when he went out fishing, would, hey, Bud, ask him all kinds of stuff about fishing and stuff like that. That is a cool personality to have, like to go out and be friendly, with guys, and you don't have to be a jerk to women. Some guys do not like women, I don't know why they're like that, but some of them, they just hate women. And it goes with all races. I've known some people in different races that have been really cold to me, and I'm like, wow, that race there, they act like everybody hates them, but your attitude right now really stinks, and, kind of wonder why people give you an attitude, so people of color, no matter what race you are, if you're Indian or a man of color, if you want people to respect you, then you got to respect other people. I don't look for trouble when I go out in public. I'm very outgoing with everybody, men and females. I'm a female. It doesn't make me a lesbian, but I love looking at beautiful women. And I've been very kind to women, I give them compliments a lot. The ones that I feel that, there's some women, they don't need any compliment. You can tell a mile away. It's like, she's already got it going. I don't need to say anything to her. But there's other women, I'm like, hey, I love your hair color, or I love what you're wearing, or, whatever. And not saying guys have to go around and doing this. But, train up your boys, especially, we want more boys to be men. We don't want them wearing dresses. There's enough of that going on in the world. We want to train them up to treat and respect women the right way. And not all of you men have been brought up that way. And that's why I feel it's necessary to make a video like this, because you don't want to bring your boys up to be girls, and you don't want to bring up your girls to be boys. You want the girls to wear dresses, get your boys, when you go out to dinner, get them to dress up, get some nice clothes, teach them, sometimes I've seen kids out in public where I'm like, I love dressing up when I go out to eat, and nowadays, You know, there's people that might even wear their work clothes and they go out to a nice restaurant, you know. You know, it's a little backwards, you know. Go out and, you know, if you don't have a lot of money, you can go to a secondhand store. They got some really nice ones out there where you can still look sharp, you know. There's a lot of men that want these beautiful women, but, you know, I had a man years ago that was a neighbor in my town. You know, he really wanted me, but, you know, he wasn't, you know, you know, like I think he was just trying to let all the women know that he worked, you know, because every time I seen him, you know, like he wasn't dressed up and he wore clothes that had stains on it and it made it look that he worked. But okay, you work, you got that part down, but what else is there about you, you know? You don't want women to, if you're really drawn to women, you want to, you know, dress up good, look good, you know. You're not going to get a beautiful girl wearing clothes with holes in it and stains, you know. You're only going to attract that kind of girl, you know, that likes that kind of look, you know. So, that man didn't understand why I wasn't interested. You know, I like to see a man dress up, you know, and so you want to teach your boys and your girls, you know, when you go out to dinner, you know, or go out shopping, have them wear nice clothes, you know, like especially when they go out to eat, you know, or when they go, you know, when you go out to a grocery store, you know, casual clothes are fine. But, you know, when you go out somewhere and, you know, a nice restaurant, you know, get them to, you know, wear something very nice, you know. Don't need to have to wear a suit, you know, but, you know, like make sure their hair is nice and teach them how to be a man, you know. You know, teach them to wear deodorant when they are old enough, you know, because boys are a lot different than girls. You don't want your boys, you know, and that's another thing with guys is that sometimes they're not clean, you know, and this goes with girls too. You know, hey, if you're not clean, you're not going to get that pretty girl over there that you're drawn to, you know. How about like teaching them when they get old enough to, you know, to shave, you know, and do all the things when they, you know, I don't know when a boy starts growing facial hair. You know, my son was pretty young when he started getting a little fuzz on his face, and I thought it was so cute. He was you know, he was taking the time to, you know, do different things with his face, you know, and I loved it. You know, he really did. He really cared about his appearance. And you want to train up boys that way. You want them to look good so when they do get older, they can draw a good girl to them, you know. And like I said about opening up the doors, teach them. But be that example. You know, if you don't open up the door for your girlfriend or wife, hey, you know, you can do that, you know, surprise her, you know, go out somewhere and start opening up the door for her. The other thing that I taught my kids was to not only to open up the door, is to, when they're old enough, to teach them how to pump gas, you know, teach them how to do that, you know, teach them how to be a man, you know, so you know, they can do that for their wife, so the wife doesn't have to go out and pump gas, you know, that you're teaching them from the beginning to be a man. So anyway, I do have to run. These are some tips. I really hope you get some help from this. And we do. Us women out there, we need more men to be men. You know, the way society is, you know, it's not the way it should be, though. The way they have it is that anything goes. But we really need to dress decently and take good care of us inside and out. So anyway, this is Starlight. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you like, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'd really appreciate this. And anyway, this is Starlight. Love and light. Peace.